Today we're shooting the newest Kimber pistol, the 1911 DS Warrior. Okay guys, like I said, today we're taking a look at the newest pistol from Kimber. This is the 1911 DS Warrior. Kimber has been on quite a roll recently with the whole 2K11, 2K11 Pro, and Comp, and they've done really well with that series. So this is not a cheaper version of the 2K11. This is its own thing. This is an American-made alternative to that entry-level price point of about $1,000. Currently occupied by a lot of those imports, namely the Turkish guns. So to have an American-made alternative is cool, in my opinion. I don't know if it matters to you. I like American-made, which means American support infrastructure behind it. I like that. This gun is also made to be supported by a host of third-party vendors. As you see, I have modified the grip and the trigger. We'll get into that later on in the video, but I think it's a cool thing for Kimber to have done to come out with this. It's available in 9mm, 10mm, 45, 38 Super. Let's put some rounds through it and see how it checks out. All right guys, we are at the 7. We're gonna run a build drill with the new Kimber Warrior, and I'm so used to shooting all the comped and ported 2011s that this will be interesting. I don't shoot many just what I call naturally aspirated pistols, particularly bushing barrels, and this one also has an aluminum frame, which is an odd choice if you ask me. It is only aluminum in the 9mm, so it's a lighter gun than I'm used to. I prefer the heavy guns, but let's see what this thing does on paper and we'll go from there. All right, that's a 198. So anything under 2, I'm stoked on with this gun. You can see it's a nice vertical line, but that's, I just got to keep the muzzle down. So there they jumped, trying to go faster. All right, 1, maybe a line break, but that was a 209. That might have been the draw. That was clean at a 191. Happy with that. Clean. Oh, right above that one. Okay, that was a 187, so we're getting closer. 1 right again. So I can tell the front of that gun, being a bushing barrel, it's just lighter. It wants to definitely dance around a little more, but that's just reps. Feels plenty fast. That first shot, man. Oh, and that maybe last. That was a 178. It's just always dancing out right or left, man. 202, that was terrible. So I have one more. Be interesting to run a black belt with it. Clean. Maybe a line break, that left one. That was a 195. So yeah, that's a line break. All right, so I wouldn't consider it my best build drill gun, but it actually did better than I expected. For a bull barrel, aluminum frame, and I can't say I totally understand why they went that direction versus for lightweight. Like, I don't consider that a carry rig for me, but I would say it's cost to keep the cost down, but then the 10mm, 45, and 38 Super are all done in steel. But they still have the bushing barrel as opposed to a bull. But I don't know, I haven't asked Kimber about that, but I would like to see it in steel. That would add a little weight, which I prefer, but that's just me. Maybe there's guys that love the lightweight gun. So it did do a lot better on the build drill than I expected. Let's try some other drills. Okay guys, just ran the build drill with the Warrior, and like I said, it actually surprised me. It did better than I thought. So I pulled out one of these Infinity Tactics targets, which I'm really liking a lot recently, and this is the speed trap. So what you have is the large circle in the middle with 4 circles around the periphery of that circle. And you start out too big, one little, too big, one little, so forth and so on. And then there's corresponding times to rank. So I think this will actually be a good pistol for this drill, because my problem is my throttle control. Typically with my guns, I tend to try to go too fast. And this one, I think, will give me just the right feel to get this drill done. All right, so that's a 512, which, like I said, it needs to throttle me down. With my guns, they just behave a little differently than this, being comped or ported and steel and being used to them particularly. I had to slow it down a bit, but that's still well within the time. I mean, I think these ratings are kind of ridiculous. They're definitely not made for 2011s, but 8 seconds is a master. We got a 512 on that. So it behaved okay. It's just different. Like, I mean, the weight of the gun, particularly at the muzzle, it's just a little busier, I would say. So let's put this through a black belt standard, the ultimate test, and see how it does. Okay, so as I said in the intro, I did do both a trigger swap and a grip swap on this pistol. The gun comes with the Kimber polymer grip, and I put an MJD Solutions grip on it, mainly because I like to personalize, customize, show that it's really something simple to do, and I think it goes a long way. But the biggest reason for me was the magwell. I love running magwells, and that Kimber didn't come with one. They may very well make a magwell for that grip, I'm not even sure. But I had this laying around, so I threw it on the gun. And while I was doing that, I threw a Red Dirt trigger. This is a 2K11 trigger from Red Dirt, and dropped that in. I didn't mess with the sear spring or anything, so it's still the same trigger break weight, just a different shoe. And I like personalizing, customizing, and making the gun feel a little bit more like my pistol. So it is something, like I mentioned, that there's a lot of third-party support that will work on this platform, and this is just a couple options. Lastly, with that grip swap, I did do a grip safety delete. That is by far my preference. I hate grip safeties, and nice to not have them. All right, guys, I also wanted to mention one piece of kit, give some details on my holster. After the gun questions, what holster are you running, is without a doubt the question I get asked more often. So this is the Priority 1 OWB holster, and it is actually the model, it's Atlas 2011 with X300. Now this fits 99.9% of all of my 2011s, as long as you're running a light, an X300. So it fits just about every gun I have, which is really nice. I'm doing this little insert because I've already had some questions about the holster from the Kimber Warrior short that I made. So very nice. It's not retention, but very convenient, and it's not going anywhere. You can run. The only way the gun's coming out is if I'm hanging upside down on the monkey bars. Okay, last but not least by any means, we're gonna put the Warrior through the Modern Samurai Project black belt standard. This is such a difficult drill, and I've passed it with some of the best guns in the world. Let's see how the Kimber 1911 DS Warrior stands up to it. So start with, at the 3 yard line, 3 and 2, 3 to the body, 2 to the head, 2 seconds. All right, 177. So I am running this holster that I just talked about, and on this drill, lately I've been running a Safariland because there is a holster penalty, but we're not dealing with that today. We're just going for this, no worries. So 1 second from the 7, 1 shot to the A zone. 8.5. So that would pass with the holster penalty. Okay, bill drill. This is gonna be the hardest one with this gun. Woo! 177 with the holster penalty too. Even though I just said it doesn't matter, it's always in my head. Okay, this is probably what I haven't done at all with this gun, is I don't think I've taken any 25-yard shots, especially in the 2.5. So should be no different than any other gun I shoot. It's just 1 shot. Oh, that might be top right. I don't know. That was close, dude. I hope I squoze that in. I hope that's it on the line. It was awful close. I think that's good, dude. Yes. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is a pass. That's pretty impressive, I must say, with the Kimber 1911 DS Warrior. First day shooting it, really. Come out, pass the black belt standard, and I gotta say, that makes me feel good. Okay, I was so worried about that last shot, the 25 yard, that I didn't even give you the time. It was a 1:35. So I didn't have much time left. That would have got to 1.5 really quick. But I just was able to, I couldn't find that dot at first, and then I was able to just yank it down and barely get it in the A zone. So I'm stoked. Okay guys, so that is the very first rounds that I shot with any real intention through the new pistol from Kimber, the 1911 DS Warrior. And at the end of today's shoot, I'm gonna say this gun really surprised me. When I came out, started with the gun, I didn't have super high expectations. I mean, considering everything about the gun, the fact that it's a bushing barrel, it has a $1,000 price point and an aluminum frame, I went into this with, I'm not gonna say a low expectation, but they weren't super high. I expected it to shoot like most of the other guns in that price point that I've shot. Now, that being said, I haven't really tried to run black belt standards or bill drills at all recently with its competitors, but I'm gonna say this thing really kicked some butt today, particularly on the black belt standard. That one really surprised me. So I'm leaving here today saying I am damn impressed with this gun. Now, that being said, it does require a little more effort by me, and particularly my support hand, to run this gun well. My other guns, the Comp, the Ported, all those guns, they let me get away with a little bit more. But this one just requires a little more effort, but pays dividends in return. So I had a blast shooting with this. I think it's really nice to have an American-made, American support in that $1,000 price point. If you are somebody that's looking to get into this market and you have that, that's your budget, $1,000, somewhere around there, I think this is a great option. All that aside, I do wish they would have made the 9mm in a steel frame. I think it would perform even better with a steel frame, but that's my preference. I'll leave that to you guys to decide whether or not that's something you're into. So I also like the way that I have it set up. You can spend $1,000, keep the gun absolutely bone stock, and I'm sure it will shoot just the same. Or you can kit it out a little differently and spend a little bit more, get the fancy grip and trigger and stuff like that. Those are just options. But I think it's a fun gun to shoot, and I had a blast running it today. So please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, and I'll catch you next time. And it's basically a, okay. So like I said, today we're taking, we're gonna put some rounds through it today, see how it checks out. Oh my gosh. That was a good one too, huh?
Yeah, that was great.
So Kimber has been on a roll with the hoe.